The famous investor Warren Buffett once said, if you owned all of the Bitcoin in the world and you offered it to me for $25, I wouldn't take it because what would I do with it? Maybe he's wrong, but I think that he has a good point. Look, take the average yearly energy consumption of Portugal and Greece, put them together, and that's how much energy Bitcoin uses every year. That's not sustainable, especially when the Bitcoin network's energy is mostly created through burning coal. That's a lot of pollution. So Bitcoin better be a lot better than traditional banks. And in some ways it is, but in reality, it sucks. So what is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is a type of digital money that you can use on the internet. Unlike regular currencies or money, it doesn't come in physical forms, such as bills or coins. It only exists online. For many people, Bitcoin represents freedom because it's not controlled by any private business, bank, or government, and it can be sent across all borders without days of processing time, with security and privacy. But it sucks. Why? For one, for its volatility, which means the speed at which the cost or the price of something changes, the fees you have to pay to send Bitcoin, energy consumption. It takes a lot of energy to create Bitcoins and to process transactions. And of course, the user experience is just bad. Let's talk about this a bit more in depth. Terrible volatility. Bitcoin is a very volatile asset, which means the price goes up and down often. I'm recording this video on Friday, the 14th of June. Now, if yesterday you bought $1,000 of Bitcoin, today you would have $75 less, or you would have lost 7.5% of your money. Personally, my biggest goal would be to have a currency or a money that does not fluctuate, something that keeps its value and is stable over time. And Bitcoin doesn't do that. Well, the US dollar isn't perfect either. So pick your poison, which is a little phrase that we use in America, which means both options are bad, but choose which one you'd prefer. Pick your poison. Number 2, fees to send Bitcoin. I tried sending $500 in Bitcoin once, and I was charged a 2.5% fee. And it wasn't very quick either. It took about an hour for the money or the funds to arrive. And this isn't the most expensive that fees will get, depending on the amount of transactions that are going on in the Bitcoin network, or how many people are using the Bitcoin network. The fees will be higher or lower, but for me, it was 2.5%. Whereas on Cash App, I can send however much money I need to my brother, for example, with 0 wait time and 0 fees. Number 3, energy consumption. Bitcoin uses a lot of energy to mine or create Bitcoins and to process transactions. Like I said, Bitcoin is using as much energy as Portugal and Greece put together every year. Unfortunately, I can't tell you how much energy traditional banks use, but due to the fact that they have physical locations and they also have a lot more people using their services, I'm sure that they use more energy. But still, we should be trying to conserve energy or use less and not switch to something that uses a ton as well. Number 4, the user experience is terrible. Nobody can really say that the Bitcoin/crypto experience is easy to get started with. I mean, my mother's still learning how to connect her phone to her car so she can hear her GPS. And although she's amazing and I love her, it's not realistic to think that she'll be able to navigate or understand the crypto world. It would just be too difficult. And number 5, there's limited reasons to use Bitcoin. Due to fees and transaction times, many other cryptocurrencies are far ahead, are doing much better than Bitcoin. So I suppose that the best use for Bitcoin would be as a digital gold or a store of value, due to the fact that there is only a limited amount of Bitcoins that will be created. So eventually it will reach a stable price. However, if I want to send my brother money for gas, for example, I would never, ever, ever, never use Bitcoin. It just wouldn't make sense. And most people who have Bitcoin are not really willing to spend it on their dinner, for example. Most people have Bitcoin because they think that the price will go up, and that's it. However, this is why it's going to change everything. Number 1, decentralization or financial sovereignty. The United States recently froze $300 billion that belonged to Russia. They were able to steal all of that money. But with Bitcoin, that would not be possible. To give another example, if I want to send money for charity to feed or help the displaced children in Palestine, and the US government thinks that I might be funding terrorism, they can completely freeze my bank accounts, allowing me no access to use my money. This is a problem that cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin will be able to fix. Number 2, financial inclusion of unbanked people. It's estimated that about 1.7 billion people on this earth do not have bank accounts. This is for many reasons, such as not having the proper documentation, such as a birth certificate, or living too far away from the nearest bank. Maybe some just don't trust the banks or their local governments. And of course, banking costs too make some people not want bank accounts, because a lot of banks will take advantage of people and charge them just to have an account with their bank. But with Bitcoin, it's as easy as downloading an app and creating a new Bitcoin wallet. You don't need identification, you don't need to trust in a bank or a business, and you don't have to pay monthly fees just for having your money there. Number 3, borderless transactions. With banks, there's a lot of bureaucracy, a lot of paperwork that has to be done and sent to other banks whenever you're trying to transfer money to a different country. But with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, it's as easy as transferring the money to your friend's account in your home country. They don't need a specific bank. They don't need to give you a bunch of details. You don't need anyone at a bank to approve your transaction. It's as easy as you sending the money, and that's it. Nobody will be in between you and the person you're sending the money to. So yeah, Bitcoin makes this process a lot easier and quicker if you know how to use it. And the last one is blockchain technology. Now, whether you love or hate Bitcoin, you have to admit, blockchain technology is quite an interesting thing and probably will change our lives in the future. A blockchain is like a digital notebook that can never be changed. Here's how it works. For a block, think of it as one page in the notebook. The chain refers to the notebook itself, how there are a ton of pages and they're all connected in one notebook. Each block has records, and once you put something into a block, it can never be changed. This means that whenever a transaction is completed, it will always be able to be seen in the blockchain. Nobody can fake anything or change anything after these blocks are created. So here are some ways that the blockchain technology will be able to assist us or help us in the future. Well, of course, money transfers. Sending money anywhere in the world is going to get a lot cheaper and faster. Voting. Certain elections have been notoriously corrupted by the ability to fake votes. However, with a blockchain, we would be able to have voters with their own identification number, and it would never be able to be faked. Supply chains. Businesses could use blockchains to track where all of their supplies are coming from and going to in a record that can never be changed. And healthcare. It will be easier for hospitals to share a patient's medical information, regardless of what country they're in or what hospital or doctor's office they find themselves in. So, what do you think? Is Bitcoin really good, or does it just suck, and does it have no future? Will it change the world, or will it just be forgotten? And are you invested in Bitcoin? If you are, let me know in the comments why. If you want to see the vocabulary and phrases used in this video, go to the description and click on my Buy Me a Coffee link. And you can sign up for a membership where I'll send you flashcards and transcripts for every video. Thanks so much for staying until the end. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.